And here we go. So these notes do look similar to the ones that we've seen before. That is intentional. I think that we've done well with those notes, and so I want to make sure that we are just continuing to find success in what we're doing. All right, so step one is that we're going to identify the base of the figure. Step one is to identify the base of the figure. I'm sure we already knew that answer coming. Identify the base of each figure. You guys want to guess what that next fill in the blank is going to be? Find the area of the base. Find the area of the base. Good there? Then it says identify the height. Very good. And we know that height always has to form a right angle. Good. Who said that? Well done, Josh. Well done. And then we're going to multiply the area and the height together and then divide by 3. Can anybody tell me why you think we're going to divide by 3, Josh?
Triangles have 3 sides.
Good guess. That's not an inaccurate statement, but not what I'm looking for. Why am I going to divide by 3? First of all, what does volume mean?
Everything
Area inside.
It's the amount inside of a three-dimensional figure, right? So earlier we were talking about prisms, which meant that they were the same all the way through. So essentially, here's what's happening. Again, you guys know my drawing is horrendous. Please don't judge me for that. Do we agree that would make my full cylinder?
There's 3 triangles.
So here's 1/3 in the middle. Here's 1/3 on the outside. Here's 1/3 on the outside.
Okay, so it's essentially like that pie analogy or pizza analogy that we saw from the.
Excuse me?
So it's essentially the pizza analogy to the pie.
Sort of. Don't get too caught up on that. We're only looking for what's inside of it, right? Do you agree this purple is not inside of that? And so we're dividing it by 3 because I only have 1/3 of the entire cylinder. That's why we're dividing it by 3. And you could make that claim for any pyramid, any triangle, or any of those shapes that go from one base to a point. Are we okay with that? So the formula is still going to be the same thing. It's going to be volume equals big B times H divided by 3. Volume equals area of the base times height divided by 3. Another way that you could write that is volume equals area of the base times height times 1/3. Area of the base times height divided by 3, or area of the base times height times 1/3. Now this is 8th grade material, so you do have a calculator for this, understood? Okay, let's go ahead and draw the bases here. So the first base is going to be a circle. Can you might tell me, do I have a radius or a diameter? And what is the radius?
3.
Very good. And how do I find the area of a circle? We talked about this earlier today as well as last week. As how do I do it?
3 times 3 = 1/4.
Volume I'm sorry. Erase that. Area equals pi. Radius squared. Area equals 3.14 times 3 squared. So you're very close, Addison. We have to do our 3 squared first. And so area is going to be 3.14 times what?
9.
Good. Good. And what is 3.14 times 9?
28.26.
Do we agree?
28.2.
Excellent. Now, let me ask you this question. What is the height of my cone? 11. Okay, so now I've got to multiply 28.26 times what?
11.
Okay? Somebody raise your hand and tell me what do you get when you get that? Kindle.
310.86.
Very good. So now I've got 310.86. And then what's the final step? Because I'm only looking for a cone here. What do I need to do next? This is the one piece we haven't discussed yet. Nathan.
Divide by 3.
Divided by 3. So I'm going to go ahead and just put this over 3. Raise your hand if you understand why we're dividing it by 3. It's not a trick question. I just want to make sure you are aware. Zion, you got it. Jackson? Isaac, you understand we're dividing it by 3? It's okay to say no. Can somebody explain to Jackson, or I'm sorry, to Isaac why we're dividing by 3, Josh?
Because it's only 1/3 of the cylinder.
Because if you look at this picture up there, Isaac, see how we're only looking for the white part, not the purple on the sides? Okay, Nathan, you're good with that? Kinsey? Brian, Kendall, Reed, Mr. Anderson, Emily, Josh, Rosie, Caden. Okay, divided by 310, 8600ths by 3. What should I get, Jackson?
103.62.
103.62. Okay, that's really not that bad, is it? It's the same thing we did last week, except for this time we're dividing it by 3. Same thing we did last week, except this time we're dividing it by 3. Questions there?
Okay, so I can square it because I missed that,
Okay.
and then I still ended up with the answer you got. I didn't need to divide it. I just already had it.
You just got really, really lucky then.
Okay.
Yep. Reed, what's up?
Would we need to divide it by 3 because the height's inside it?
Yes, sir. Because the height on the inside or the outside is just how they're showing you. It makes no difference. It's still talking about from base to the tip.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let's do the next one. What's my base on this second figure?
A circle.
It's a circle. Very good. Am I given radius or diameter?
Diameter.
Good. We don't want diameter, do we? We want radius. So how would I find the area of that circle? Give me the process. Like fill in the numbers for me. Josh, go for it.
You divide 9 by 2.
Okay. What's that going to give me?
4.5.
4.5, so now I'm going to have area equals 3.14 times 4.5 squared. Are we all okay with that? Does anybody not know how I got 4.5 or 4.5 there? Is anybody not sure why we did that? We're all good there? Okay, awesome. Can anybody tell me what the area of that circle is? Reed, what'd you get?
63.585.
Are we all okay with that?
Yes.
Mariah, what's my height? 4. I'll give you guys a second to catch up. Then my next question is going to Ruger. Ruger, what do I do next?
I'm 63.585.
Very good. Very good. I'm going to get 254.34. You guys with me so far? All right, Emily, I'm coming to you. Am I looking for a prism or a cone? And so if I'm looking for a cone, what's my final piece got to be? Divided by 3. So I'm going to literally put this number over 3. Divide that by 3. And Mr. Anderson, when you have the answer, would you please let me know?
Alright.
Beautiful. Well done. Well done. How do you feel about that?
Great.
Okay, so before I let you do number 3, let's talk about this. What would we have to do differently? I want you to think outside the box, PhD type question here. What would we have to do differently if I was looking at a pyramid instead of a cone? We've already talked about the difference between the two shapes, but what would you, or what would I have to do differently if I was talking about a pyramid and a cone here? Addison, what do you think?
Pyramids have sides.
Okay, I agree pyramids have sides, so what would we have to do differently then? Josh?
You have to multiply like base times height.
Very good. Instead of doing this area right here where you're doing pi r squared, you're going to do the area of a square or rectangle, which is just base times height or length times width. Do we understand that? That's the only difference there. And I think when you see those problems, you'll be fine with that. Okay? Hey, go ahead and try number 3 on your own. Let's see what happens. Let's see where we're at. Let's see how we're doing. Go ahead and try number 3 on your own. thank you for that. Appreciate that. Appreciate you actually working it out. I'm gonna do it real quick in my head. In my head, I mean calculator. I appreciate the compliment there. I don't know if I'm that smart though.
You're a math teacher.
Yeah, but I mean,
Take the compliment, I'm trying to.
that's fair. That's fair. Yes, my brain's a calculator. You're right, Addison. Samuel, what'd you get?
339.12.
Do we agree?
Yeah.
Anybody anything different? Anybody want me to explain it? You want me to explain it? Awesome. Okay, so can we agree that the circle has a radius of 6? Everybody okay with that? Formula is pi r squared, so we're going to do radius squared, which is 6 times 6, giving me 36. I'm going to then multiply 36 by 3.14, which gave me 113 and 4/100. I then multiplied 113 and 4/100 by the height of my figure, Jackson, which is 9. And then after I got that, it gave me 1017.36 divided by 3, which gave me 339.12. Awesome. Hey, look your paper over real quick. This is your assignment for today. Now, before we get started, I want to do just a really quick piece here. I want you to decide what shape each one is. So, for instance, number 1, is that a cone or a pyramid? So I want you to put a P next to number 1 to remind you that. Number 2, cone. So I want you to put a C next to number 2. 3, a P. 4, 4 is a pyramid. How do I know it's a pyramid? Because it has sides. Addison did great when she said that earlier. She said there's sides to it. How about 5? 6? 6 is a cone. 6 is a cone. 7? 8? 9? Okay, so nothing is changing in this process. It's still area of the base times height divided by 3. Do we see that? I want you to try to solve number 1 by yourself, and we're going to talk about it. After we talk about it, I'm going to give you the rest of the period to work on this. Because ideally, in a perfect world, you'd be able to finish your homework before you leave my class today, and you don't have homework tonight or tomorrow night. And then you're just totally done, okay? Yes, Josh?
For pyramids, do we still multiply, and then divide by 3?
Base times height of the figure, divided by 3.
Okay.
So it's still that way.
Yep, still divided by 3. So again, it's base times height of the base times the height of the figure divided by 3. So that's why I just want you to try it, and then we'll discuss it. Base times height of the figure divided by 3. Let me do the math on mine real quick. Make sure we're on the same page here.
I'm glad we calculated these numbers are pretty big.
Yeah, they're pretty big.
Yeah, there was, we didn't have a calculator either.
I need 8 hands before I move on. 5 more. And no, you cannot raise your hand, both hands to get multiple hands up.
Where's the